A few days, a pair of elite couple was tragically attacked on their way home. The crime scene revealed no evidence, leaving the police unable to determine a motive, which quickly stalled the investigation. After over a year of relentless effort, the police finally uncovered potential leads. As the investigation deepened, an intricate web of relationships and dark plans began to emerge. Surprisingly, the mastermind behind it all was someone no one could have ever imagined. A few days. So what exactly happened? Today's case takes place in Huntington Beach, California, a city located on the southwestern coast of Orange County with a population of around 190,000 people and known as a famous surfing destination. The protagonists are Kenneth and Caroline Zacian, a remarried couple. Kenneth is 13 years older than Caroline. Both have achieved significant success in their respective fields. A few days. Kenneth was born on the 15th of February 1942. He was once an experienced anesthesiologist who later left his job to establish several private clinics, becoming an entrepreneur. Caroline was born on the 19th of November 1955. She is from Michigan and graduated from Southern Times Academy as a talented optician. A few days. Kenneth and Caroline met in 1980 and married in 1985. They have lived in the picturesque Huntington Beach ever since, leading a life of abundance. Friends describe Caroline as someone who accommodated her husband Kenneth greatly because she had experienced a failed marriage before and cherished this relationship deeply. Whenever talking about family life with friends, Caroline would always say that their relationship was good and they were very happy. A few days, however, in reality, their marital issues began to surface several years ago when Kenneth lost interest in Caroline. They no longer shared intimate moments, but Caroline did not reveal this publicly. She is a strong-willed person who didn't want others to laugh at her. So she tried various ways to maintain the marriage. However, constant tolerance only emboldened Kenneth further. A few days. Kenneth began indulging himself and had an affair with Anna, his employee and a single mother. Described as an open-minded woman skilled in using her charm for personal gain, Anna gave Kenneth unprecedented happiness during their relationship. In return, Kenneth provided substantial financial support to Anna, renting her a spacious apartment and gifting her 2 luxury cars. He even covered all of Anna's living expenses and her child's upbringing costs. A few days. When Caroline found out about this, she was furious but still hoped to keep the marriage intact due to psychological trauma from her previous failed marriage. Instead of arguing with Kenneth, Caroline chose to endure silently, hoping this would change his attitude over time. However, after a while, things did not improve as expected. When Kenneth turned 57 and underwent heart bypass surgery for coronary artery disease, it was Caroline who took care of him during that period. A few days. Caroline believed that through her care, she could win back Kenneth's affection. But to her dismay, even after his recovery, Kenneth continued his affair with Anna. This left Caroline utterly devastated. Soon afterward, Caroline had a candid conversation with Kenneth, stating that if they couldn't live happily together, the marriage must end. This talk seemed effective as Kenneth promised to change. A few days. To ease their tense relationship, Kenneth arranged for a high-end restaurant celebration on Caroline's 44th birthday. However, this birthday tragically became the couple's last day alive. After the celebration, they were attacked on their way home. A few days. On the 19th of November 1999, around 10 p.m., a patrol officer discovered an unusual car during his routine check. Along a secluded road, the vehicle was still running with its lights on and the passenger door slightly open. Out of professional duty, he approached to investigate and found 2 middle-aged adults inside, covered in blood, having been fatally shot. Both were dead. A few days. The police immediately contacted headquarters for support. A few minutes later, criminal investigators arrived at the scene. According to their IDs, the male victim was 57-year-old Kenneth, seated in the driver's seat with his seatbelt still on, indicating he did not resist during the shooting. The female victim was his wife Caroline, 44 years old. She had tried to escape by pushing her legs out of the car but was forced back inside. A few days. Initially, investigators suspected a heated argument between the couple led to this tragedy due to their different reactions before death. However, further examination revealed no gun at the scene and several .357 caliber bullets on the passenger side floorboard, indicating the shooter reloaded after the initial shots. If Kenneth had killed Caroline in an argument then committed suicide, there would have been a weapon left behind and bullet casings wouldn't be found on the passenger side. A few days. Additionally, both victims' wallets and expensive watches were untouched, ruling out robbery as a motive. With no evidence to identify the killer or their motive, investigators could only proceed with limited information. The next day police reviewed Kenneth's phone records and discovered multiple calls between him and Anna on the day of the incident. Initially unaware of their relationship, officers questioned Anna about these calls. She claimed Kenneth was her former boss and friend who helped fix a computer 2 days prior. They were merely discussing repairs. A few days after learning of their affair from Kenneth's colleagues, investigators re-questioned Anna, who admitted to the affair but insisted it ended amicably a month ago, leaving them as ordinary friends. When pressed for details, she claimed to know nothing else about the case. Despite suspicions, police lacked evidence and released her. Investigations into other suspects yielded no leads until an anonymous tip came in from Richard, a former gang member and longtime repairman at Kenneth's home. He revealed that Kenneth offered $75,000 for Caroline's murder shortly before his death. Initially dismissing it as a joke, he now believed Kenneth hired someone else to commit the crime. Though skeptical due to Kenneth being a victim himself, investigators pursued this lead. Checking Kenneth's bank records showed large cash withdrawals totaling about $30,000 days before the incident, suggesting payment for a hitman. This led to a hypothesis that Kenneth hired a killer who turned on him, but it was dismissed by higher-ups as wasteful. The case became cold until the 11th of October, 2000, when families demanded a reopening of the investigation. Experienced detectives reviewed old files and found inconsistencies in Anna's initial statement about frequent calls with Kenneth being only for computer repairs. Given their affair history, they believed she might be involved. Re-interviewing Anna a year later, she maintained her innocence but revealed a financial agreement post-breakup to support her financially, negating any motive. Police then turned to Anna's surroundings, questioning her ex-husband Greg at his home. Using psychological tactics, they implied he was next on the suspect list, prompting him to reveal that Anna had a relationship with Tony, an apartment handyman known for violent tendencies. This led investigators to Tony, whose real name was Dennis, a former criminal with a history matching the killer's profile. Neighbors reported increased luxury spending by Dennis and Anna post-incident, suggesting murder payment funds. When police questioned Dennis, he fled, leading them back to Anna, who feigned ignorance under lie detector tests showing she lied about knowing the murderer. To prevent her escape, police detained Anna on a traffic violation charge while investigating Dennis's whereabouts in Virginia. After finding him imprisoned for armed robbery, investigators interrogated Dennis, who refused to confess. Police pressured Greg into convincing Anna to cooperate out of concern for her children's safety. Anna then confessed that Kenneth and Caroline's marriage was deteriorating due to financial concerns and Caroline's reluctance to divorce despite his affairs. When Caroline demanded an end to Kenneth's infidelity or face divorce, he planned her murder, first approaching the retired criminal Richard, who refused. He then turned to Anna, who initially declined but agreed under threat from her new boyfriend Dennis. Dennis, a violent criminal, took over the plan with Anna as intermediary. Days before the incident, they met Kenneth for payment and finalized plans. On the 19th of November around 9 p.m., Dennis ambushed Caroline after Kenneth stopped their car, shooting her multiple times. Despite attempts to flee, Caroline was forced back into the car where she was fatally shot again. Dennis then killed Kenneth unexpectedly, claiming he wanted more money and feared a relationship resurgence between Anna and Kenneth. Police used this confession as evidence despite controversial interrogation methods and other legal issues, leading to the conviction in 2012 for double murder. Dennis died of cancer in prison at age 42, serving 8 years. This case highlights the intricate web of deceit and betrayal that can lead to such tragic outcomes, revealing how personal vendettas and financial motives intertwine in the most unexpected ways.